Hello, all. I am mask free today, and my name is Frank, and you are up front with me. Welcome to this week's show. This is actually our last show for the year. We are doing this because we're not going to be around next week. Jade on the other side of the screen, sitting in still her orbital background. So we're going to get her a new background for Christmas. Is of course say hello to Jade Zabrick. You can catch up with Jade and all her friends and all the band members of the Trainwalkers at the website, thetrainwalkers.com. And doing that, you can see where they're going to be appearing, what they're going to be doing. And while I'm talking to you, I am adjusting my fancy schmancy microphone stand. Oh, look at me going so high tech. I could turn a screw. Yeah, well, this is my last show of the year. Wow, 2021. Jade is going to be doing her thing. I am going to be doing whatever, just finished shopping, finished wrapping all my gifts. I do have skills, and I still have some wrapping paper left. So if any of you have anything needed to be wrapped, my services are for hire. No, I am not Macy's grade of wrapping, but I'm all right. I have skills. How is everybody this week? Is everyone getting ready for the holiday? Everyone do their stuff, their Christmas stuff? Do you do your Christmas stuff? You can always let me know. Go to we'll find us on several places today, as always. We're broadcasting live up front with Frank Rothstein on Facebook. On Facebook with Skies Crescent Radio, SKYES. On skiescrescentradio.com, you'll find the broadcast of it. We also appear on Spreaker.com. That's the podcast service we use. We're on iHeart. We're all over the damn place. If you can go to a web place where there's a broadcast of something, you're going to find us somewhere. And this is what's going on. Or you can always email us. You can always email me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. upfrontfrank@gmail.com. And if you'd like to talk to Jade, it's jadezabrick@gmail.com or the Trainwalkers at gmail.com. I'm tripping over my own tongue saying gmail.com. But what is going on? Well, I don't have any really overly a couple of crazed stories. But everything else you've been seeing on the news is pretty singular. We're all talking about, again, the latest variation. Someone's outside again, all honking, looking to go somewhere to a red light. We're all talking about the latest variant of coronavirus. Well, a variant is not necessarily a bad word, just the word in itself. Variation, variant, it's just varied. It's just different this time. Last I read that if you have Omicron of coronavirus, but you had your booster, well, you run a better risk of having limited symptoms. For all I know, I've had it twice and haven't felt a thing. But then again, when I did have COVID, I didn't feel a thing either. I just lost my smell and taste. I felt great. I looked fine. If I didn't tell you I had it, you'd never have known. But, it affects everyone differently. But yes, everyone, please, get yourself vaccinated. I know it's not for us to tell anyone what to do and how to live their lives. But, I'm sitting here watching my friends over at Thompson Chemist. That's over at 132 Thompson Street in New York City. That's where we are. They are in the Soho area of Manhattan. And right now, they are all day from, I guess, 9, whenever they open up, till when they close, 6:30. And they are selling, they have, right there it is, the FlowFlex Home Diagnostic Kit, 1 kit per test. This is a $10 box. If you're down in the downtown area, well, all the Dwayne Reeds and the CVSs are out of them, and other places are out of them. Thompson Chemist does have them, and go give them the business. Besides giving them the business, give them the business. They need a little harassment. But seriously, this is actually a great stocking stuffer. Now, if you're watching me on Facebook, you're going to see what this is. You can see this video. You see, this is a box that is no bigger than, I don't know, a small box of candy. You know, really, I mean, a small, this is like a perfect stocking stuffer. This is a $10 item. It's a perfect stocking stuffer. Well, it is. Jade's laughing. She's looking at me smiling. But it is. This is like a perfect wrappable gift because it's rectangular. It's about 1 inch thick. And listen, and it's only a couple of inches, like 3 inches long. So yeah, this is right in the stocking. What are you eating there, Jade? What do you have? What are you having? She's having Kit Kats. Didn't give me any. Didn't send me any. Jade never sends me. I got nothing. And I'm telling you, even when she had a Twix bar and she ate the left side, she wouldn't even send me the right side. I got nothing. No. Nada. Zip. Guts. But anyway, but yeah. Thompson Chemist, 132 Thompson Street in the Soho-ish section of Manhattan. They do have the COVID tests. This is a 95 or 97% effective thing. Like I said, stuff up the stockings with them. You're going to spend a lot more money on a lot worse things. What is going on in the world? So yeah, we do have some stuff. I mean, there is some good stuff. Speaking of COVID, only because this woman is an idiot in action. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had to open her mouth. She can't help herself. Senator Cory Booker posted on his Twitter account about his COVID deal. He suffered like everyone else, and of course he said they were relatively mild. He was grateful. That's, I'm quoting. He's grateful. He received 2 doses of a vaccine and a recent booster, and of course he says without them he could be doing much worse. Which I guess at random chance, yeah, he could be doing much worse. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know how she got elected to Congress, came up with the brilliant line of how many breakthrough cases of polio are there? So she's opening her mouth about polio. I don't think she understands what she's saying. Matter of fact, well, right now, I mean, there are a few left in existence, but they're really not the trendy thing. Let's let Senator Greene hang out in an iron lung for a while it helps her breathe if necessary. We'll put her in an iron lung. Matter of fact, let her breathe on her own. We'll just lock her in an iron lung. Her head can hang out. If you don't know what an iron lung is, when polio was the thing, before the vaccines really took hold and everyone was getting vaccinated, it just attacked you. Let's just say you couldn't breathe. And they put you into like a big metal tank that became known as the iron lung. And your head would stick out of a tube with like a rubber gasket, keeping that way the pressure in the machine itself that would put the pressure on your chest to keep you breathing, exhaling, inhaling, inhaling, you're just letting you breathe. And people there's still actually till today, there's a few people left in an iron lung. They can't live without it. So I don't know what she's talking about when she's mentioning polio with breakthrough cases. I mean, today it's still around the world. Yeah, it is around the world, but it is far more manageable because of decades of vaccines. Matter of fact, most conditions you know about, measles, mumps, chicken pox kids get, even though you get whatever, but measles, mumps, a lot of other things because of vaccinations. I still have the mark on my arm from when I was vaccinated against what was it? Was it smallpox? Plague, whatever it was. I got my thing I was a baby. I got it in the arm. It looked like a big gun. But yeah, I don't like politicians being political. I mean, being politically medical. They don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes I don't. but that's okay. I can say it. What is this? Speaking of COVID, I don't know if anybody read the other day. Taylor Swift has a new album. This is doing really well. And there was a party for it. Like 600 people went to a party. Taylor Swift didn't attend it, but there was a party. Everybody was there. 600 people. This is from December 17th, by the way. 100 people at the time tested positive. On December 17th, when this story came out, 100 people tested positive. I haven't heard the numbers since, because if 100 people got it, they all went home. But before they realized it, they saw their friends, they went to work, wherever it is. And, excuse me, tea, Darjeeling. Yeah, this is why anybody, I don't care how many vaccines you've got, 600 people in a room. And they got 100 of them tested positive. I gotta believe there's more by now. I think it is so stupid for people to take this chance just to get into big, huge get-together. No one's where I'm looking at this picture. I don't see too many masks. I don't see what's going on. Yeah, this is just dumb. But then again, this is one of the problems in this country. People, besides sometimes being outright dumb, overconfidence, carelessness. Not saying it doesn't happen around the world, it does, but overconfidence, carelessness. I'm going to move my camera just a little bit. Now, you see behind me that little thing sitting on that table? It weighs a lot, so I'm not going to pick it up. You see, Jade, can you see that? Okay. This is an old story. I've told it out here before. I'm going to tell it again, of how lazy, overconfident, or any combination of the above takes place. That is a 600-watt battery. Got it? That was made to jump a car battery. It has 3 AC outlets. There's a little flashlight, because I'm a flashlight nut, in it. And it weighs probably, I don't know, 30 pounds. Huge. You want to carry that around? You're doing some lifting. When I ordered it on Amazon, if I'm correct, this is a long time ago. This was coming from Kentucky. I got it just after Hurricane Sandy. That's a while ago now. Okay, that's a while ago. And we're still in heightened security. We're still 10 years. It was like 9 years, 10 years after 9/11. And people were still with security, and there's always a threat of something somewhere. So I ordered that. Now, I don't know if you can see it from here, but I have a little antenna sticking up at it. It looks like a little black line. Can you see that? Okay, that's a little antenna. This thing was ordered, I think, shipped from Kentucky. So Amazon has it. They wrap it up. They put it on a truck. They send it to wherever the plane is. Goes on the plane, gets unloaded from the plane, into a depot, into a truck, delivered to my office. Took about a week to do it. And when I get to the box, before I open it, it says, I hear, I'm hearing static. So I opened it up. I should have called the police. I opened it up. I was dumb and I was overconfident because I knew what I had ordered. I opened it up, and I didn't realize, because all I saw was a picture of the front of the thing. In the back is the little radio. It doesn't really work, that radio. It didn't work too well when I got it. But there's a radio, an AM FM radio back there. That's what the antenna is for. But I didn't know that. Matter of fact, nobody outside of the manufacturer knew that. Certainly not UPS. And this thing is making a noise in their trucks, in their depot, in their storage facility, in their planes, in their truck to me. My cousin brings it upstairs, carries it to my work area, and he didn't call me and say something's wrong. And I'm thinking to myself, who thinks like this? There's no red flags. There's nothing. There's no red flags. And you see, it's even worse now, because now when people are walking around They're crossing the street with their little earbuds in, their headphones in, they're listening to whatever their music on their playlists, and they're not even paying attention. And I was listening to Mike Rowe, the host of the former and now returning show Dirty Jobs, who had a theory of it's no longer safety first. It is really safety third. So pretty much it's, you know, you have to get the job done. You have to do what you have to do. But third on the list is safety, because your safety is not your responsibility. It's somebody else's, which is why people don't even look at the lights. They see somebody next to them walking, they start to cross the street, but they're not looking at the light. They're not looking both ways like I was taught to do as a kid. You look both ways. Matter of fact, when I drive, that's the idea. You look to your left with the lane that you're driving in. That's where the traffic's coming. Okay. You look to see where traffic's coming from. Then you look the other way to make the turn if there's a two-way street. And then you look again to make sure the car is not. You look, you take responsibility for your safety. That this could get to my warehouse from Kentucky or from wherever it was, Wisconsin, wherever it came from. I don't care what state it came from. It had to go through all that. And it was making a staticky noise because this big 600-watt battery could give off that little bit of a noise for months, and no one paid attention. That's overconfidence. You see people now, they're all going for this week, they're all going for rushing into stores, buying up all the home test kits, not because they care about you, because now they're overconfident. They're selfish. They want to know what they can do. It's not a general concern about the whole, about everything in general. It's their greediness. They want to do what they want to do. So now they're going to see if they're negative. I know they don't want to walk into their relative's house and sneeze all over everybody and give them whatever and give them COVID. But okay, now they're going to figure out that they don't have it if indeed they are negative. And then they're going to go out again, and they're going to, they're going to go to the parties. They're going to go here. They're going to go there. And I was telling my friend at the pharmacy, again, Thompson Chemist, he's worried about getting stuck with inventory, but that's not going to happen. And here's why. Because people are dumb. People are stupid. They're going to sit there and see the negative, do the same bad habits. So the negative, they're going to go away. And by Christmas, he'll be closed Christmas Day, probably close a little earlier on Christmas Eve. That'll be it for the Christmas season. And then maybe it'll be a little slow in the 26th, 7th. You know how it goes. People are now coming back from Christmas. And maybe they'll check again before New Year's because a week will have passed by. And then there'll be the New Year's Eve parties because people will have to go. And they're all going to Times Square, which may be the safest place to go because it's outside. But okay, he'll be selling these tests forever because after what comes up after New Year's? Allergy season. That's when everyone starts sneezing and coughing and so on and scratching and whatever else. Now, I like the list of Omicron variant symptoms: stuffy head, headaches, fever, sweats, dizziness, so on, so on, so on. Does it sound familiar? Sounds like the flu to me. So I have been saying it for a while. It's going to be a very confusing season because there's no specific or no outstanding symptom. But people are going to take this test. Again, they are selling the FlowFlex test, and they are not going to use it as a, I'm safe. They're going to use it as a license to party, license to go out and do it again. Went bar hopping, went all kinds of Christmas shopping, all kinds of Christmas parties, did everything you want to do, and a week went by and you took a test that said you have no symptoms. License to do what you want. Let's do it again on New Year's. And that is how people go. So, they will, most people, not all. Jade's very careful. Jade's great at this. I know I'm a bit of a loner. I know I'm pretty good, but Jade could lock herself in. She could do this show from a vault. She can do the train walkers from a vault. We could lock her in, just feed a little fresh oxygen, somehow get her some water. If there's any mail, we'll figure it out, but make sure she gets food. And she's great. She's very careful. But this is just how people are. They just don't take the extra thought. So they don't give it the extra thought. They think me, not we. They think me. So me, bunch of guys, each one saying, I don't care about that noise. Let somebody else worry about it. It got from Kentucky to New York. COVID. License to party. License to get caught under the mistletoe and kiss somebody else. Well, I hope you enjoy the kiss, but hopefully you stay negative after the party. So that's just how I see it. It takes a we attitude, not a me attitude, to get by things, especially when it's important. It really does. Let's shift a little gear, please. Let's go a little gear shifting. I'll come back to COVID. I don't know why, but I will. Speaking of, let's shift gear to something stupid, also something ridiculous, but it actually is a thing. I got this on December 16th. I got it off of NPR's website. Kraft Foods, they make the cream cheese. It says, we'll literally pay you not to make cheesecake this holiday season. And that is because there is a cream cheese shortage. You can believe it or not, there is a cream cheese shortage. I talked about this last week. What did I say? Kraft Heinz, which owns Philadelphia brand cream cheese, is offering to reimburse thousands of holiday shoppers $20 for each desserts they bake or buy that do not contain cream cheese. So if you could bake or buy non-cream cheese desserts, they will give you $20. So if it only costs you 10, you're in business. You doubled your money. Me, I'm a Jewish kid from Brooklyn. I'm buying babkas and mandel bread. Yes. So I'm going to be rich. And I may have to produce a receipt for 300 of these things because I'm going to be rich. And this is what people are going to do because why not? So, just look at the label. Make sure there's no cream cheese because, as we all know, Junior's Cheesecake takes priority. When you see Junior's brand, sit up a little, stand a little taller, salute that cake company. Anyway, so avoid Junior's this year and go to Zabar's and get some cakes and cookies. All right, not everything has. Do cookies. Make some good stuff. You'll be fine. But yeah, and if you can get it, keep the receipts, submit it to Kraft, and they'll send you a check for $20. Oh, that's funny. I like it. What else do we have going on here? What else? Well, let me see now. Let's shift gears a little bit again because this one I'm not quite understanding because of the nature of the crime, the punishment, and people involved. I got this off of Fox 2. This is from December 15th. I save my stories across the week because I don't have an immediate ticker service I don't have an immediate news service, like that. So I save all the ones that sound interesting. Out of Macomb County, Michigan, a bodybuilder was sentenced to 14 years for attack of woman he later married. Let's see. Paul Bashi was caught on camera beating the woman who is now his wife in 2018. He was sentenced to prison on attempted murder and torture charges. All right. He pleaded guilty, was sentenced to 14 years in prison by Judge Joseph Toya in the domestic violence case recorded. It says shocking detail on home surveillance camera. So that's it. There was no debate. He did it. It seems that he changed. It says, I don't doubt for a minute that you're not the same person that was in that house or on that porch on that particular day some 3 years ago, the judge says. Despite all your issues, you are not the victim in this case. You're not. All right. Um, it also says, despite everything we heard today, it is the people, the state of Michigan, that brought the case. You are not. No, you've been the focus, but you are not the victim in this case. So I guess the people, meaning when he was arrested, the state had to bring the case. So there's 107 punches, 85 kicks, 28 stabs, 4 knives used for those 28 stabs, dozens and dozens of bludgeons. That's what she testified that her now husband is. Listen, reading this is like a bad maze. I'm just going back and forth here. I'm not quite sure how she married him. I don't care if he found God 2 minutes after it happened. He's a bodybuilder. I don't know if he was on anything. I don't know what it was, but I can't imagine how someone married this guy, especially the victim. And I'm reading this list again to myself. Yeah, okay. 2018. Well, happy anniversary. He's also facing another 93 days in prison for the assault of his uncle, who had arranged the post, had arranged to post the $1 million bond that Bashi was being held on for the charge of attempted murder and torture. He beat the guy, wanted to get him out. Okay, listen. I'm not reading this because of how terrible this crime is. I can't believe what I'm reading. That somebody married this guy, that he beat the guy who was trying to get him out of jail, and still she married him. People are stupid. There you go. They're probably taking their tests now to make sure it's negative so they can go out and party on Christmas and New Year's. I think people are, and I know I am a person. I am a human being. Here I am. This is me. See, this is me. I have done some very dumb things, but I don't do that. And I don't ignore that. Anyway, if you have any comments, if you'd like to say anything, I will be looking at my upfront page. Feel free, upfront with Frank Rothstein. And I will, if I see a comment, a post, or a question, if I see it in my messenger, I will be happy to read it and address it on the air live, providing we have time live. What else is going on here? Okay. This is, again, I go back and forth with topics. So this is something that everything old is new again, because this is not new. This is the latest dating trend for singles. It's called hardballing. What is hardballing? Well, this is nothing new, but to Generation Z, which I guess is though everyone like age of 24 and younger, who know nothing, it's just pretty much a person being very clear, extremely clear about their expectations from a relationship up front, which means they'll tell you instantly what they want. They will tell you, I guess, on the first date, they will tell you this, they will tell you that. They want to get married, they don't want to get married. This is not just women, this is both. Here's what I want, here's what I'm thinking, this is it, this is da. And that way you can stay in, you can try to become involved, you can be done with someone immediately. This is not new. I don't know what Generation Z is discovering, but this, well, if you're 24, you're probably at the age where you're starting to think about it. But this is not a new, maybe a new expression for an old topic, but this is not new. I've had a few dates. I couldn't believe a few dates I've had. I sat down with a couple of people who were of this mindset. Go on a date, we get in a restaurant. The menu wasn't even there yet. She's telling me, well, if you're thinking of this and that to happen, I'm not into it. I don't want it. Okay, great. The menu wasn't even there yet. Okay, no problem. But if you, to me, it's when you take that kind of an approach, when you take that kind of immediate tactic, you have now built a wall that is so high no one can climb it. That's just how I see it. When I go on a date, especially if it's the first date, depends on how well you know the person. Sometimes you really don't know them at all. And, I go with the theory of I'm prepared for anything to happen, including nothing. Nothing is okay. Sometimes the meal is pretty good. Sometimes you get a drink. Maybe you've enjoyed a movie. I don't know. Maybe whatever. I don't know. But to sit there and put between you, there is now nothing the other one can do that will be responded to well. So now the only way anything can happen is if the person who made this statement makes the attempt. That does not mean sex. That means makes the attempt. Just for a simple moment, whether you're walking down the block, maybe you want to hold a hand, maybe there's a kiss goodnight, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're attracted, maybe there will, I don't know, something can happen that night. It happens. But when you put up this kind of a barrier, boom, you have now taken away, at least the way I see it, any kind of a relaxed nature to the evening. So now you're just there. And if you have to have that kind of a thought, I just normally wouldn't go. Personally, I wouldn't go. And it's not because I don't want to buy dinner for nothing. That's ridiculous. It's because you never know what can happen. You never know. Maybe you'll wind up by nature realizing, well, I'm just naturally feeling it was a nice night, but not again. But taking this approach to me sort of kills any form of spontaneity that may occur. To share your life plans immediately, first, maybe second date. It's, that's just me. Anyway, it's called hardballing. It's the Generation Z approach to dating. And I can imagine little social skills because they grew up on tablets and on the internet. So yeah, I can believe that. Okay, what else is going on? Let's shift gears again. What is this? All right, well, let's get to this because there are two stories here where I feel sorry for kids. You heard me say it before. Even the best well-intentioned parent will fuck up a kid. Okay, here's two stories. One is a Georgia man shot dead by his toddler son. He was shot dead by the kid who found a loaded gun inside their home. Dustin Walters, 25, was found by police after they responded to reports of a shooting in his Savannah home about 5:30 on December 5th. He was rushed to the hospital, died of his injuries. Okay. The child is under 2 years old. Got it? Under 2 years old. And how tall can a year and a half, year and 3/4, 18, 20-month-old kid be? How tall? How big could their hands be? So they're certainly not picking up a rifle. They're picking up a little gun. Okay. Where can this little gun be? Well, it's not on the top shelf, not locked up, that's for sure. It's not on the top shelf. It's not somewhere safe. Could it be laying on the coffee table? Could it be laying on the dresser, like on the end table next to the bed where you put the lamp? Could it be on something on some sort of a spot that could be 3 feet tall, maybe 4 if the kid knows how to climb anything, maybe. This child is now what I am now referring to as future fucked. There you go. Remember those words, FF, future fucked. You know why? Because at a year old, 2 years old, you have no memory of anything. You can't, you're not even aware of yourself. Someone is going to explain to this child, to this baby, one day when they can sort of start to comprehend stuff, or even when they start asking questions. First, the kid will be lied to and they can properly understand something. Then when they can actually understand, someone's going to explain to this kid what really happened. And this kid is going to be screwed for the rest of his life. All because somebody is careless with a gun. Okay. Let's get to the other story. Speaking of careless. Headline: Oklahoma boy's arm is ripped off while trying to pet pit bull puppies. Got it? Pit bull puppies. A 4-year-old Oklahoma boy had an arm completely ripped off by a pit bull while trying to pet some puppies at his grandparents' home. That's according to police and the distraught mom. Little Axel Foster lost his arm after putting his hand inside a dog pen Friday night while being looked after by his dad's grandparents. Responding officers found him waiting outside with his grandmother with the limb completely missing. That little beep is someone sending me a text. Okay. Completely missing under, oh, geez. This is like really annoying. Anyway, so, wait, let me lower this again. Let me lower this again here. Because now it's my cousins talking in the message, in a multi-stream message. Anyway. Kid's arm is ripped off, sitting outside in the blanket. They took the kid to the hospital. They found the arm in the pen. They tried to reattach it, could not see it, could not do it. How does this happen? One of the dogs was shot and killed as officers tried to recover the animal. I knew that would happen. Okay, how could this happen? The mother asks. Well, here's how it happens. You're an idiot, and so are the grandparents, because nobody was watching the kid. 4-year-olds just want to play. There's puppies. They want to play. Anyone with a brain knows that a dog, mother dog, fostering the litter, feeding the litter, mothering the litter, is very protective about the animals. They all know it. The mother is always protective of the litter. How the grandparents and the mom did not know this, I'll never know, but this is what happened. Nobody was watching or nobody was close enough. This kid could get there alone. And I keep telling people, even if you're sitting there 2 feet away in a chair, the dog has plenty of a head start. Because by the time you start screaming or reacting or trying, whatever it is you're trying, or have to get into the room because you weren't paying attention, this dog, and don't blame the pit bull. Anybody here saying, well, pit bulls are dangerous in their breed. No, this is not the fault of the dog. I'm sorry the dog had to die. At least one of them anyway. This is the fault of the adults because nobody was paying attention to the child. Father leaves a gun out where the kid can walk around. No one is paying attention to the child. Child, a little older child, you reach into a pen where the puppies are. Doesn't matter if the older dog knows it, the mother dog knows it, knows the kid. Don't go near the litter. Matter of fact, most litters, the way I always learned it was in the house, the mom will usually bring the puppies over or somehow invite you in to touch the dogs. Do not assume, especially if it's a dog that could rip your arm off, that you can go near it. The 4-year-old has no comprehension of this. They just want to play with puppies. So again, 2 stories because people, again, my theme of this show, people are stupid. And that is what happened. One guy is dead. The kid is screwed for life. The other kid is now maimed. We'll probably get a prosthetic somewhere. But either way, this is what's going on. Nobody pays attention. look at these stories I got this week. Holy crap. Where are we over on? Okay, two stories on well, one business. Let's do the brighter note. The National Suicide Hotline is not changing its number, but making an easier number. Starting in July, you will be able to dial 988 on your cell phone. The same way you dial 911 when you call for police. Now you will be able to dial 988, and you can, well, the new numbers will also handle text and chat, but you can call for help, and without having to remember a 10-digit number. And there's been $282 million invested in this. $177 million will go to, let's say, bolster and expand the existing crisis network. And the other $105 million will go towards staffing local call centers. So yeah, come July, Suicide Hotline will be adding 988. In the meantime, I know it's Christmas. I know people are iffy at times. You know, some just don't, things are, especially this year, depends on what's going on. Maybe you haven't reacted over the last year too well. Maybe something else is on your mind that's giving you a thought. Don't give up. Don't shut the world out. Don't make a decision you can't take back. The phone line for the National Suicide Prevention Center is 800-273-TALK. That's 800-273-8255. And if there's something going on, reach out to someone. Call a friend, call your family. If you sit in your room with your door closed, open the door if your family's in the other room. If nothing else, you'll hear noise. You know you're not alone. So take it from somebody that knows 12 people who did commit suicide. There's no such thing as a good decision if you go through it. It's not a good decision. There is no taking it back. There is no correcting it. There's no changing your mind. Not if you sit there and do the wrong thing that way. Once it's done, it's done. Anyway, again, July 988. Okay, where are we going over here? Wow, this hour is going somewhat fast. Okay, and the more easier, lighter, everything else sides. Well, let's see, business world. YouTube is dropping, at least as of December 18th. I'm not sure if they've renegotiated as yet. YouTube TV has dropped ESPN and other Disney-owned channels because they couldn't come to an arrangement, something in negotiation. Wow, Disney. Wow. Google has a subscription that's going from 65 to $49.99. I'm not sure what the ESPN service is. Well, like I say, they're all just, everything is a big pay subscription. Used to be you didn't need cable. You could just get some streaming sites. You were done. Internet, so on and so on. Now everybody is a streaming site. So much so it could wind up costing you as much just by streaming with internet plans as it would if you had cable. So there's no bargain anymore. Just the internet has caught on to the game over the years, and once again, everything the internet touches, to me, gets destroyed. So yeah, if you have the YouTube TV, you're gonna have to find ESPN and Disney-owned channels other places. Someone who's doing very well, who doesn't need the money but has a lot more of it now, Bruce Springsteen. If you haven't read, Bruce Springsteen has sold his publishing catalog to Sony for $500 million. $500 million. Wow. Well, he has a vast library. He really does. And he's also got more money out of this type of a deal than Bob Dylan and Neil Young. How he got more than Bob Dylan, I'll never know, but that's good negotiation. So yeah, Bruce Springsteen is getting a check in the mail. all the rights, all the masters, all of that. I am sure he has retained the right to perform his own music, but that is what's going on. 500 mil. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Okay, what else is going on? Here's somebody who thought they were smarter than the rest. An MTA manager. The headline is from December 15th. An MTA manager caught using a blow-up doll in an apparent attempt to get around the HOV laws. You can't ride single in the carpooling lanes. Well, he put in a blow-up doll, and I guess he got caught. And this looks like the same doll. If you ever saw the movie Airplane, when they have the cruise control, the automatic pilot come on, this is just a big blow-up doll that he has strapped into the passenger seat. And he's driving around in this, I guess, economy car. Whatever he's driving, he's in his car. And he got caught doing it. He uses it for the company. He doesn't use it for the HOV lanes. He makes 122 grand a year. Because I use it for the company. Okay, so this is good. Somebody who works for the MTA that's in charge for whatever he's in charge of is now talking to blow-up dolls in his car while driving. Aren't the voices in your head enough company? Do you need to do this? Oh, man. No wonder I rub my eyes on my head at the same time. This is it. I keep telling people, everybody I know is crazy. I'm crazy too, but I'm the best of my batch. You don't see me with blow-up dolls in the passenger seat. You don't see me taking a COVID test looking to go to a party tomorrow night. I bought more masks. I got 130 of them sitting in my house, all disposable. I can get more. I can do all this and do this show too. And I can wrap gifts. And that's what's been going on. I don't write this stuff. If I did, it would be smarter stuff. But that is what's going on with people this week. So anyway, as I said earlier, this is the last show of the year. Christmas is coming up. Jade's got her plans. I got mine. If we happen to circle around and bump into each other somewhere, the drinks are on me. But until then, we'll be sending each other t-shirts from wherever the hell we are. Again, you can always email me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. Email Jade at inquire about her business and the train walkers and hire the band at jadezabrick@gmail.com. Oh, and by the way, please go to YouTube for Sky's Crescent Radio, SKYES. Just hit the subscribe button. Click on any show you want. See if you like it. You know, you're listening to me, but, you know, check out one of the others. Mia's World is good. The Poets podcast is always going to be fun. There's always something to talk about there. Just click on the subscribe button. Help us out. We would appreciate it. In the meantime, everyone stay safe. Everyone I know you're not supposed to say it, but Merry Christmas. I'm a two-time Santa Claus. I could say Merry Christmas. I'm in the union. Actually, I miss doing that. I had a lot of fun doing that, being Santa Claus in the parade. I found the kids are great, the adults are vicious. We were throwing little bitty things to the kids, little stuffed toys that are really Christmas decorations. And I mean, they're no bigger than this, you know. And some kid, 2-year-old, had it in his hand, 3-year-old. And an adult took it out of his hand. I don't know where he was sending it to. What the value of this thing was. It's probably worth maybe 10 cents a piece. But evidently, somebody saw some major value. As always, be careful. COVID aside, be careful at Christmas parties. Watch out for that eggnog. Someone likes to get a little creative and make it stronger than it should be. Same with New Year's. Be careful. I got news for you. I checked all CompuBox. The record of cars versus walls and trees is walls and trees win. The cars have yet to win a battle. be careful. Christmas is great, parties are great, just be careful. There's going to be somebody who's not paying attention. They got the earbuds in the ear. Again, believe it or not, safety of people really is the driver's concern. Don't assume anybody driving next to you is an expert. Make sure you're careful with them too. And everybody be careful. Here, New Year's, all of that. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Have a very happy, healthy New Year. We will be back in January. And maybe we'll be plotting and scheming on doing things a little bit different. Maybe I'll be a little more thorough in reading all this crap, and I'll find more crap to read. And fortunately, after all these years, the static in that battery has died. I don't think the radio works. So I'm not blowing up. I'm just keeping it charged up. But that's just me. And again, everybody, it really is your job. Look both ways. I know you're all 40 listening to me. If anyone's listening to this show, you should be able to cross the street on your own by now. Please be careful. Look both ways. Don't assume that anything plugged into the wall is okay to take into the bathtub with you. Don't eat. If you know you're allergic, don't say, but I like it. Don't do any of that stuff, right? Your safety really is your concern. Everybody have great holidays. I will see you when we get back in a couple of weeks, and just enjoy yourselves. Have a good night, gang.